episode
26.
26.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very mature right
I know,
now.
right? We hit the big 2.5.
Yep.
And now we're 26, man.
Moving
Crazy.
on up. Moving on up.
So it's been about a week since I've seen you.
Right.
Well, maybe a little less than that.
But
But
it seems like a week.
it feels like
Feels like eternity.
forever.
I miss you, man.
So how have you been this week, man?
Good. Yeah. I'm coming. Just had a couple of days off, and yeah,
Nice.
fast and furious.
Getting you running in?
I did. I got some running in and some hiking as well, which was nice.
Hiking.
Yeah, and running's been good. I had a good run yesterday. Did about 6 miles and felt good.
Damn, that's awesome. Where'd you go hiking?
Hiking, I went up in Massachusetts. I used to live up there, and in this one spot, and there were a couple little reservations, they called them up there. And I used to go. There are a few within like a 5-mile radius of where I lived, and they're just really nice, really nice. Mountain biking, you can go mountain biking, hiking. I used to go snowshoeing, cross country skiing, and I went to one of those with my wife and my kids and another family, friends of ours, and we had a great time. It was really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's different. Change it up a little bit. Took a hike.
Take a hike.
Yeah, take a hike.
Take a hike.
It was
man.
really nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, how have you been? Huh?
I've been alright, you know.
You've been busy as
Busy.
heck.
I'm busy bee, man.
Yeah,
I'm
new
busy
dad,
bee.
school. School's winding down. You got a couple
Yeah.
more weeks of school, and
Oof, thank
I don't know how
goodness.
you do it. I don't know how you mix it all in.
We're trying, man.
Yeah.
We're trying. So yeah, I've got 2 weeks left of classes. So
Good.
this week and next week, and that should be done.
Take a breather from that.
Will I ever?
Yeah. Did you get any running in?
A little bit. So I have been. Let's see. When did I ran yesterday? Did like 3 miles. Nice and easy. And then I was able to do a 5-mile run, which is long for me these days.
Yeah. How have you been feeling on your runs?
Pretty bad.
Yeah.
Pretty bad.
Struggling through it?
No, it's awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a battle just to get out the door, and then when I do get out the door, it's like, ugh, boy, this is rough. It's like you realize how quickly it goes away, you know? I just feel so slow.
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know, everything hurts. My lower back hurts.
Ugh.
I'm like an old man.
Well, I mean, I'm sure miles is not extremely heavy, but making all these kind of different
yeah,
movements
that's
that you normally wouldn't do, you
Yeah,
develop
yeah,
your aches and pains. I remember developing when my son was this little guy. I remember having from bending over all the time and changing him his diapers, and I developed this real lower back spot in my lower back, which was kind of achy, and it was weird.
Yeah.
Because I never had that just one particular spot which bothered me, and I felt it all the time, walking, running, and just kind of.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
Could be.
Maybe that's it.
You know.
Lifting them up and moving them around and
Yeah,
doing the old burp thing.
it's just the movement. It's not. I don't think it's necessarily the weight. It's just the movement, and you're just maybe putting some strain on a particular spot. So
Yeah, maybe that's it.
yeah.
Huh.
So you gotta power through. You'll power through the runs, and when you start,
Yeah.
when you're able to do it more consistently,
Yeah,
you'll come around.
I think after next week, I should be able to get out there a little bit more. It's just
Yeah.
brutal. These you know how it is in school when you get to the end of the semester. It's like all the things that you have to do or do.
Everything comes to a head. All the
It's
projects
just
are due, and
Boom. So yeah. So once that's over with and done with, then I'll be able to get out there and run a little bit more. Yeah. So that would be
cool.
Yeah, totally cool. We actually got word that we might be able to run with him in the stroller sooner than we thought.
That's neat.
Yeah,
Wow.
as long as we get a little, we either get a car seat adapter so he can sit in his car seat, or a little snug seat for him.
Just to kind of keep his
Head up.
it's
yeah.
keep his head up. It's more like his neck and
Yeah, yeah.
head. Oh, well,
Well,
that
he's
would
been
be neat.
doing tummy time. He's been doing some tummy time.
Is he a champ?
He's working at it.
He doesn't
yeah.
like it.
He hates it.
Most
Yeah.
my son and daughter, they hated it.
Yeah.
It was torture to watch Tommy.
I know. I like.
Because you feel so bad. You want to just they struggle through it. They cry and don't like it, and they don't know what the heck's going on, and it's just you want to. It's good for them.
Yep.
Right? It's a strengthening thing, but you.
Yeah, you feel like you're torturing him.
I know. I feel.
Yeah.
I used to. I not like that.
Yeah, but he's doing all right.
Yeah.
He'll get there. Anyway, what the heck are we talking about today? We're not talking about babies and...
We're gonna actually talk about singing and songwriting today.
Alright.
We're gonna
Sweet.
change it up a little bit.
Maybe we should just perform a few of the songs that we wrote.
Well, okay, yeah, we should do that. Maybe in another podcast.
Maybe.
Our musical podcast.
Yeah.
We are working, and folks, we are
Yeah.
working right now on, we're composing it. We're in the middle of it. We're not, no way near ready to perform for you, but we do have a musical podcast that we're working on. Sort of like a little running opera, I think is what we want. We're kind of like talking, it's in the style of that, like an opera, but for runners. So stay tuned, because that's probably episode like 40s or 50s. Still got a lot of work on that.
Yeah, we gotta finalize.
But anyway, we digress. Today we're going to talk about because it's spring and we're moving into summer and fall, and it's definitely racing season, right? There are tons of races. But I was on a run the other day, and I was thinking about an experience that I had up in New Hampshire. There's a race called Reach the Beach, and it's a relay type race.
Those are
Like
so
12
fun.
person relay. The big relays where you have vans, and it's like 200 miles long, and some are 100 miles, some are 200 miles, some are like distances in between. So I remember the experience I had, and I thought, well, that'd be kind of cool to talk about.
That would be cool to talk
And I know
about.
that you've taken part in a relay such as that, so
Yeah.
we probably have a lot of experiences to.
We do.
discuss.
I mean, just doing one of those is like a lifetime. It felt like opportunity. It's like a once in a lifetime deal. But I mean, you can do them every year if you want. But they're really fun. So like.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the one I did. I did the Hood to Coast in Oregon.
Oh yeah. And I think that one is like kind of like the granddaddy of them all. I think that was one of the first real big
I think
ones.
so. Yeah.
It goes
I think
back
you're right.
to the 1970s or something like that. And
Yep.
it's sort of like has a, I don't know, legendary reputation.
It does. What I thought was interesting when I did it and they talked a little bit about the history of it, it's like all of these like really cool races start as like just something silly. Like the Falmouth Road race is just a route that a dude ran every day to a bar.
Yeah, weren't there I think there were like 2 bars or something.
Yeah,
It was like
like
a
a
route
bar
from
to
one
a
bar
bar.
to the other. Yeah.
Yeah, and so now thousands and thousands of people do it.
Yeah.
And it was the same thing with the Hood to Coast. It was just like a bunch of people who wanted to get together and do like a relay race. And it wasn't like anything big. It was just like a group of friends who did it, and
Yeah.
now it's nuts.
Now it's a big thing. What time of year was that?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. No, sorry.
No, I think it was.
I should know this. I mean, it's a podcast
Is it
about
the
relays.
fall? Is it the fall?
Fall? Yeah.
It might be a fall
Okay.
one.
And Reach the Beach is in, I was up in New Hampshire, it's in September. And so, yeah. I mean, it was really cool. I was asked to be on this team.
Yep.
Buddy of mine pulled me in. He knew I was into running. And I knew half the team, really. There were 12 people.
Yep.
And the other half I didn't know. So there were some strangers mixed in. But everyone turned out to be really super cool.
Runners in general are pretty cool.
I think runners in general are very cool, yeah. And it was kind of neat. There were people from Rhode Island, but there were also some people from New York and Massachusetts, and we met up in New Hampshire.
Mhm.
Spent the first night. We rented this condo and started the race the next morning. Started way up in Cannon Mountain, not far from Franconia Notch, and then we went 200 miles all the way down to the coast, right to the water. Reach the beach. Hence they call it Reach the Beach.
Did everybody kind of know each other except for you, or was it kind of like?
Yeah, everybody did. There was Nate was like the hub, the team leader, and everyone
Everyone knew Nate.
him.
Okay.
Although there was one guy from Connecticut, and I'm not sure how he came into the mix, because with a lot of these, there's a lot of
Like, hey, we need somebody for
there's
our team.
solicitation. It's one of those things where there's some teams are formed completely like that. You
Right.
get like
Yeah. I mean, we
Yeah.
get it all the time here at the store we work at, and they call and they'll be like, oh man, the relays this weekend,
Yeah.
and we only have 5 people, we need,
Someone dropped
6,
out, and
yeah.
yeah, someone's injured.
right, so that we'll always get requests.
Yeah.
So that's interesting, so you knew Nate, everybody knew Nate,
Yes.
and that was kind of the thing.
Yes, his wife participated, and it was friends of his, and he knew people from some people from a run club, some people from the neighborhood, around town, friends of his, and so I joined in, and it was neat. It was really cool.
Yeah.
So we have a 12-person team, but some of these relays they have 6
Yeah, yep.
6 people. You know, like so some people just really want to do like
A lot
double the
of running.
distance
Yeah,
and
that's madness.
a lot of running, and so we had 2 vans.
Mhm.
And yeah, 6 people per van,
Mhm.
and yeah,
So
pretty
that's
cool.
it. You're done, Tom.
That's it. I'm done, and it was a great experience.
It was fun.
No, we met the
It was
first
fun.
night, and then we
Yeah.
started early the next day,
Yep.
and
So with the vans, see, like, I'll talk a little bit about mine later, but when I did it, we had, like, drivers,
okay.
and that was, like, their job. With you guys, did you have to, like, rotate?
Yeah, we had to rotate. Yeah, and some people were comfortable driving the vans, other people didn't want to, so they drove shotgun and navigated. So we worked it out, where everyone was taking part in something. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So you had your drivers, your navigators, and it becomes a chore. You're running, and that's the main thing.
Right.
And it's not easy
No.
because when we were running through the mountains and in the middle of the night, or early in the morning, or during a blazing hot sunny day,
Yeah.
or rainy. It actually rained. We started in rain, and it was massive downpours, which didn't last very long. So you're dealing with all that. You're dealing with the running and dealing with weather conditions, but you're also dealing with having to navigate. You're having to navigate this van, and you're going to have to, you got to follow the map. You got to
Right,
know where
and
to
you
go.
gotta know, and you gotta get to that spot before the next person.
Yeah, there are these transition zones. So you go from one transition zone to the next, and that's where you're going to pass off, this bracelet to the
Yeah.
next person, and you got to have to be there. But along the way, you also want to be available for your runner,
Mm.
the person who's running at that time, and you want to cheer them on,
Mhm.
provide support if they need it, and so that becomes a chore, it becomes a task,
Yeah.
a major task,
How many
So-
people do the Reach the Beach thing?
And
You know?
how many teams?
Yeah, like, how many
Oh, I'm
teams?
sure there were like hundreds of teams.
Did you have any, like, traffic jams at all? when you were driving?
We were fortunate we didn't,
Yeah.
and I don't know if there were other things going on up, at least near the start, other events. September, it's beautiful, weather up there, and it's a great time to go. So, the potential for there to be traffic was definitely there. But we were lucky we didn't have that.
That's,
But that would just be something that you would have to deal with, and so work around.
yeah, it's nuts.
So it was really cool. A lot of logistical stuff, and transition zones. Some of those are traveling in the middle of the night. And
Yeah, that's true.
you know
No, you don't know, you can't see.
can't see, you don't know, and a lot of community support though.
Mm.
What I noticed is that the communities really embrace this, and a lot of the transition zones were these little tiny towns, and you're at one was we were at I think it was an elementary school. I don't even remember the town in New Hampshire, but we arrived there late at night,
Mhm.
and there's tons of people from the community there helping out with food and drinks, and it was neat. You had the facilities in the school if you needed to. You can go in and clean up, and
That's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, it's nice when you get that crowd support.
yeah,
You wouldn't think over, 200 miles that you would get that much of it
yeah,
spread out so much, but
yeah.
that's cool.
It was really, really cool.
What did you guys do about food and stuff?
Well, everyone, you bring your own, basically, and, but it's certainly I believe that there was some, you bring your own snacks and stuff and food, but I think there was also some community stuff as well. If I remember correctly, I think we pitched in and had, food and water for everyone.
Mm.
Yeah,
That's neat.
but I brought my own, electrolyte drinks and just things that I knew that
Huh.
I was gonna want
Yeah.
in between, so, yeah.
And then then they had like food at those little stops too?
Yeah,
some of them?
yep, some of them, yeah, and you could, purchase it, donate towards, some items, and, yeah, it was neat. It was neat, I just remember it was all logistics though, in addition to running, you gotta think about everything, you gotta think about your food, you gotta think about what you're gonna drink, what gels you're gonna take, you gotta have it all ready.
Mm.
You have it ready in the van, you gotta have change your clothes, because
Yeah.
you're gonna get sweaty, you're gonna get smelly, and, if there's rain, you don't want another pair of shoes, or you don't wanna bring newspaper and stuff into your shoes.
Right.
In between, you get dirty, you get smelly, and you crammed in a van with 5 other people while
Yeah.
someone else is running, and everyone's kinda in the same boat. So,
And you're all
and
stinky.
you get to know people intimately,
Yeah. That
which is
sounds-
nice,
Sounds disgusting.
It does sound disgusting.
You just hang out with a bunch of, because when you run, you stink, man.
Oh, you do. I do. I know I do. I get all sweaty and stinky. So, yeah, it just becomes something that you're going to do that. You're going to just deal with it,
Yuck.
But I knew there were a couple people in my band that I didn't know, and I got to know them. It was nice. Really nice people.
That's good.
Really nice people. And, in this case, there were themes, right? So
Mhm.
there was a Hello Kitty team, and they were dressed up
Oh,
like
wow.
Hello, Kitty characters, and I remember we did like a dog theme.
A
So
dog?
yeah, so our vans were decorated like dogs,
That's cool.
and we wore spots and tails, and so yeah, it was kind of that theme. Go Dog Go, I think it was, which was neat.
Is that a Dr. Seuss book?
I believe so.
Is
I
it
think
Dr.
so.
Seuss?
I can't
Go
remember.
Dog Go?
I
didn't know if
yeah,
read it
I think
before.
so. I'm pretty sure, but it was cool.
Yeah, that's neat.
And yeah, there were a lot of other neat ideas. There was one A-team. Actually, yeah, there was an A-team
Oh,
team,
alright.
and that was really neat. And they were all the characters from A-team,
Nice.
and their vans were set up like the A-team. And so
That's sweet.
yeah, that was really, really neat.
Yeah, that's
That was a lot
awesome.
of fun. And and I know all the other teams are really cool. There were some super competitive teams
Mhm.
and some not so competitive teams,
Yeah.
and our team was kind of a mix of, all kinds of
That's
abilities.
good. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that was really neat.
Cool.
And, it was cool.
What'd you do when you reached the beach?
When we reached the beach, we had, we drank beers. Drank beers and celebrated and got our medals, and it was fun.
That's awesome.
But it was wild, you really had, you run 3 legs. My first leg was about 5 miles, and I remember mine was like a slight downhill,
Sweet.
and it just blasted out. I feel
Nice.
like I wasn't really
Felt
paying
good?
attention to my times on that one. I should have, but I was just running as fast as I could downhill for 5 miles, and it was really cool. It was fun. And then I did a leg in the middle of the night,
Oh,
which is
yeah.
more like 8 or 9 miles, and it was wild. I left this transition zone in this little town out in New Hampshire, beautiful New England town, and you run out, people are cheering you on, and then all of a sudden you disappear into the darkness, and it's just
You went
darkness.
into darkness.
yes,
How do you
which
know
was
where
really
to go?
wild. Well, there were signs,
Yeah.
and every once in a while, my van would be at the next spot, and yeah, there were signs, and it was well marked.
That's good.
I don't know that that's the case in every relay. I'm sure that
Right.
there are relay horror stories, but this was marked night well. And I remember we all have to wear certain lights. I mean, they're
Yeah.
very strict about what you have to wear.
Yeah, that's true.
You've got to have a light in front, headlamp. You can have a light in the back. You have to be visible at all times. And because there's still traffic out there.
That's true.
I didn't see a lot of it though on my night journey, but I just remember running and sometimes total darkness.
Mhm.
Every once in a while, I'd see a flashing red light ahead of me.
Oh,
and then
yeah,
that's-
that's the way I go.
Yeah, and that's a person, and I'm gonna try to catch them.
Yeah.
And then,
That's awesome.
and every once in a while, your van would come by and they'd, give you some water or something if you needed it, and ask you how you were doing. And so, Yeah.
Sweet. So what was the total distance you ended up running?
I think with all 3, my legs, like 22 or 23 miles,
All right.
got crammed into like the 24-hour period or whatever it was,
Yeah.
and yeah,
Sweet.
Yeah. that was cool.
That sounds like fun.
But you get scared. You hear rumors like there were bear sightings.
Oh, wow.
Yep, and I thought there was something. I saw something at night move across the road, but I don't know what it was. Could have been a deer.
Was it a moose?
Could have been a moose. It was big, and it seemed big to me, and so yeah, that was kind of
Frightening.
wow. You get a headlamp
Could
on
have been
too.
a bobcat.
Could have been a bobcat, right?
Could have been a bobcat.
So your experiences. What about you?
Oh, yeah, well, why don't we do this? Why don't we take
Yeah.
a break?
We take a little break.
Take a little break. We heard about the Reach the Beach. My experience was a little bit different, and then it was a little bit more luxurious,
Okay.
I think.
All right.
A
little more posh.
Yeah.
Posh relay.
All right, I'll tell you all about it
Okay.
when we come back. All right, we're back, and yeah, I'll tell you a little bit about my relay experience. I did what is called the Hood to Coast relay.
Yeah.
I had never done it before, never heard of it even. And one day I got an email from Nike, and felt a little spammy. It was like, hey, you won some contest because you run with the Nike Plus app on your phone. We want to fly you out to the Oregon, to Portland, to do the Hood to Coast relay. And at first I was like, I don't know, I might just delete this. It seems a little weird and like.
Wow. You were actually going to delete it.
I almost deleted it.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know. And
Yeah.
then like even just like after I like confirmed it was real, I was like, do I really want to do this? Fly out to Oregon and do this relay with people I don't know and like.
Yeah, because
whatever.
you were going into it not knowing anybody.
Yeah, right. So I was
Yeah.
like, F it, let's do it. So I, clicked the link, filled out the form, and then like next thing you know, I got plane tickets and I'm on my way to Portland to Oregon.
Did you have to pay for the plane tickets?
No.
They paid? Nike paid?
Nike paid for plane tickets. They had a limo pick me up at my house.
My
like
God.
5 in the morning.
I had a nice experience. It wasn't quite like that though. It was a little different. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So limo at the house to the airport, hop on, direct flight. I think it was a direct flight to Portland, Oregon.
Sweet. Oh my God.
Got off there. The carpet and everything at PDX. You ever been to PDX airport?
Yes,
They
I
got
have.
that crazy carpet.
Yes.
Anyway, it's like a
Yes,
thing.
I have been there.
Yeah.
A few times.
But so it was crazy. And then get the you come off the airplane. They had some dude limo to the hotel I'm staying at. And then I went, I checked in, and they had like a whole setup where it was like food and drinks and stuff for everybody. When I got up into my room, decked out, complete like.
Oh my God.
It was a new duffel bag, outfit to kind of hang out in.
Oh my God.
Pants, shorts, t-shirt, hat, sunglasses, shoes.
Holy
the whole
moly.
nine. I went through all that, and then we had like a little get together where we met some of our teammates. The way that they did it, so there was like 6. Actually, did they have 2 teams of 12? Yeah, they had 2 teams of 12.
Okay, I was going to ask how many teams they had.
Yeah, so they had 2 teams broken up. So there was like the hashtag So Fun team and the hashtag So Fast team. So I was on the So Fast team. The So Fun team was made of like social media influencers and like people who like take really good pictures on Instagram and stuff.
Right.
And
That was the plan. One team to really promote it, one team to maybe even take a shot at
compete.
winning.
Yeah. So I was on the So Fast team. It was the people on my team were really cool. I thought at first I was like, I don't know. I was pretty I was apprehensive. Cause I don't know these people. I don't know where they're from. I don't know any of them, and it's crazy. But everybody was really cool, and we had a pretty good quick team. It was a co-ed team, which was kind of fun.
Ours was too,
Yeah.
which was great.
So we got to know each other. We did, a tour of the Nike facility that day, which was really cool in Beaverton. I think we did like a morning run after we went to bed, woke up, morning run, and toured the facility, got to meet the people who would be driving our vans. That was one thing.
You had van drivers?
Yeah, we didn't have to think about.
Oh
we didn't
man,
think-
you didn't have to take turns and
We
stuff?
didn't have to take turns. We
Or-
had
yeah.
we had drivers.
That's nice.
We had
Okay.
drivers, which was really cool. And the vans were like sweet ass vans. I mean, they were sick. And we had
Oh my lord.
in the vans they gave us, they had full coolers full of Gatorade, all the snacks you could ever want. They had Stumptown coffee for you. Like, dude, it was money.
Wow.
And they had like sleeping bags for everybody, so you got your own sleeping
Did you
bag.
get to keep that?
Got to keep it.
You still have it now?
Still have it. It's in my closet. Yep.
Is it have a little Nike symbol on it or something?
I don't think it had a Nike thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we had that. We had they gave us all the headlamps and gear that we would need for that nighttime run.
Yeah.
We got to decorate the vans too, so we did the same. We didn't have like a theme per se, but they gave us a bunch of colored markers and we would draw and write all over it. They had this thing they call kills at the race. I don't know if you guys did that, but like when you pass somebody, it's like you killed them. You took their soul from them, so we would mark them off on the
We didn't do
on
that.
the van. Yeah,
That seems kind of vicious.
it is a little. It
That's
was a
kinda
little
like
vicious.
kill
but
the opponent.
Teammates were very vicious.
Yeah.
And so we would
We did
keep a
not do
tally of how many people we passed when
Okay.
we were running. So that was one of the parts of our van, was like a board.
And you
Uh,
killed them.
Yep, so that's what they called it. So yeah, we did that. And then we were told to rest up because we were going to do the Hood to Coast the next day. So I looked at the legs I got beforehand. Actually ended up with the shortest total amount of distance. I think I ran like 19 miles or something total. But I had the first leg. So we started on Mount Hood. That's kind of where you start the race.
Yeah.
And what was kind of cool, but also kind of painful, was my first 4-mile leg was straight down the mountain.
Yeah. And that must have been steep.
It was
Yeah.
steep.
Me, my downhill was gradual, and it was nice. It just kind of felt like gravity was just pulling me along, but I wasn't pounding too hard.
Yeah.
You must have been pounding.
It was beating me up, but I ran really fast. Probably
Yeah.
ran like my fastest 4 miles I've ever run in my life.
Nice.
Yeah, it was brutal because it
Mhm.
just beats you up, and then you get like to the transition zone, and then you gotta sit down. It's not like you don't really have time to like cool down or like stretch or
You really don't.
anything.
You just pass it along, and then you gotta get into the van,
In the van.
and go. And so that's tough too. You don't get the cool down or anything like that. Stretch, and you get stiff. That's one thing. It's one of the things that you really have got to be aware of and that you have to deal with is that you're gonna get stiff.
Right.
So or it's tough.
Another thing that was cool was they thought about that and gave us those like massage rollers and
Yeah.
stuff in the
That's
van. which was
good thing to have.
Yeah,
Good thing to
so
bring
they
along.
made sure they brought some of those along. But yeah, so you just hop in the van and then you're on to the next leg.
Must have gotten stinky in there though too, right? Even though they were real nice.
A little stinky, got a little stinky. We did, so I can't remember when, but so we had like after that one, I had the first leg of the second half of the relay, because they do, I forget what it was, but they start like a half version of the relay, that's like 100 miles instead of 200 miles.
Okay.
And so like at the halfway point was my next leg, and so it was like just a little nuts, because like it wasn't just me getting my baton, it was like the other relay starting as well, so that was a little crazy.
Yeah.
But one thing that was cool is like seeing all your other teammates running and cheering them on and stuff. That was fun.
I really like that part of it.
Yeah, it was a good time. And then like when we got to the midpoint there, they were a little concerned because my leg was only 4 miles, but because they were having the start of the other thing, the traffic was crazy.
Yeah.
And so they were concerned that they wouldn't be at the transition point by the time I got there.
Okay.
So,
Which I've seen, that happened.
yeah.
That happened to some people, they just got caught up, and I remember I distinctly remember seeing some people at the transition zone, they got there and they didn't know where the heck their runner was, the next
Right.
runner was, like, what do they do? You know, they can't leave the transition area, that's what you can't.
Right.
You gotta stay there until the next runner shows up, so, which is
Yeah.
kind of a bummer, it happened. So, yeah.
Yeah, so they were concerned that I would get there and there would be no one to hand the thing to.
It worked out okay?
Because we knew, because the drivers were from the area, they like knew shortcuts and stuff, so they got
Sweet.
through, and
Yeah.
we made it. He made it just in time. We got gave him the old wrist. I think it was like a wristband or
That's what
something.
we had, yeah, it was like a slap bracelet, which is
Yeah.
kinda cool, you slap it on and go.
But then what was really cool, and this was just like another perk of the kind of Nike trip, was that after that we had kind of a break while the other van on our team did their thing. So we had like a little bit of a break. So like we had our 6-person van, there was another 6-person van, and they were doing some of their legs while we were kind of resting.
Yeah.
And they had rented a hotel room, a couple of hotel rooms, like a block, and then like a conference room, and they gave us like food, catering. They catered the whole thing. They had like showers for us if we wanted to shower.
Wow.
Another benefit was like they gave us basically 3 outfits to run in, so like you wouldn't have to like worry. You just changed into your new outfit.
Yeah. It's good to have that.
Yeah, so that was fun, and then we ate some delicious food, and then the next leg I had was one of the nighttime runs. I think it was at like 2:30 in the morning or something. So we did have to sleep a little bit in the van. Some people slept on top of the van, but it was fun.
Yeah.
Slept and then woke up at like 2:30 and was on my way in the
Yeah.
middle of the night. Scary.
It is a little scary. I remember being like, it was invigorating, but it was a little scary because you didn't know where you were going, and I was like, I want to make sure I don't get lost. Again, the Reach Beach relay that I did, excellent as far as marking.
Yeah.
You know, it's all signage too. They don't have
Right.
people standing there waving flags. It's all signage, and I felt, you know, in the end, I guess I would look back and say that nighttime run was really cool and well run. I felt safer. So yeah.
Yeah,
But you don't know.
Yeah, I felt the same way. They did. I mean, the way that the coast is, there's so many people that I never felt like I was gonna get lost because I always had someone to run down.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, there were like I said, it were really seriously like hundreds of teams, and there were a lot of people. But there were times on that leg that it was just me, and then I would see a light go after it, and then it was neat too because as I got closer to the transition area, I was in the middle of nowhere. It was dark, and I could hear like people yelling and cheering.
Stuff, yeah.
And I got closer and closer. I knew I was getting closer and closer and closer, and I started to see some lights from the town, and it just kind of appeared. You know, that was neat. That was exciting. And I remember I felt like I was flying at that moment. You know,
Yeah, that's true. It's weird when you're running at nighttime. You kind of feel like you're running faster than.
I always do.
daytime.
I always do.
Yeah.
And the headlamp I had was really good, but you know, you could run into a situation where you never know, potholes,
Right.
obstacles, and things like that.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was cool. Once I finished that leg, the rest of the team finished. You know, the weather was kind of crappy. Usually at the Hood to Coast, you finish and you're on a beach, and they do like a big beach party.
Yeah.
But there was like some crazy like winds and like all the big tents and scaffolding blew over.
Ah.
So we just kind of hung out.
Nasty.
We just went to like a team breakfast in the little town there, which was kind of fun. But we didn't get to do like the whole big beach party thing.
That's too bad.
But yeah, I mean, overall, it was a fun race. I mean,
Yeah.
it's something that I would like to do again.
Yeah, I wanted to do Hood to Coast. I was actually, my wife and some cousins and friends were kind of talking about doing it, and we were planning on it, and it just kind of fell by the wayside.
Yeah, it's
But-
a lot of, like you said, logistically it's crazy.
Yeah, it is just, there's some things you need to take care of, you
Yeah.
know, as far as transportation. That would be definitely more difficult than going up to New Hampshire from here,
Right, right.
from Rhode Island, but,
Yeah, it was like just like thinking about all the thoughts and planning that went into it. I mean, even with Nike kind of running the show, they had like, I don't know, they had these people who were like organizing the whole experience for us, like
Yeah.
in the room on laptops, like tracking us and making sure we're in the right spots when we needed to be.
yeah.
And like, I can't imagine actually having to do that
They like,
while running and like hanging out with a bunch of stinky people
I know.
where you're tired and like exhausted.
yeah.
And like, I mean, all I had to do was think about running, and that was
Right, no, that's nice,
you
it's
know?
nice.
So
Yeah.
like, yeah, I can't imagine doing what you did or like any of that stuff.
Yeah. Well, I have to say our team captain Nate was great, and he took care of a lot of that, and everyone else kind of fell in line and did what they was, what
Yeah.
they were supposed to do, and seemed to work out nicely. But yeah, it's a fun time. I was asked to run in one in August, and I'm thinking about doing that.
Which one?
I'm not sure what organization's doing it, but it's right, it starts in my town, which is wild, on a
Perfect.
bike path.
Yeah.
It goes up, on a bike path up through into Massachusetts, and then it heads across and down into Connecticut. But apparently it's all on, mostly, bike paths. So you have transition zones, and you have your vans, which are, driving along. I think it's a 12-person team, so 2 vans.
Yeah.
But it's, yeah,
You don't have to
you're
worry about
mostly
traffic.
running, yeah, exactly, you're not moved by traffic. I do remember in the Reach the Beach, there was one leg I had, my last leg, where it was a Saturday morning, and it was like, it was busy, it was like a lot of cars were going to this one town, the transition area was in this one town, it was busy, bustling, and I remember you had one small lane, and you were going against traffic, and there was traffic flying at you, and it's a little bit scary, like,
Totally.
something could happen here,
Yeah.
But like on a bike path would be great if you're running mostly on a bike path, it's pretty
Right.
safe.
Nighttime on the bike path might be
Yeah,
frightening.
that might be a little bit frightening, for sure,
Yeah,
for
there's
sure.
not a lot of street lights.
Not a lot of none whatsoever
No
on,
street lights.
on the bike paths that I know,
Yeah.
but I'm thinking about doing that, just a matter of, whether I can be available for that weekend, but
Sweet. Well, you'll have to report back and let us know. how
let
it
you know,
goes.
yeah, sure.
So I think we gotta wrap it up.
We do
here,
have to
right?
wrap it up. There's so much more we could talk about on this one.
I
I feel like we could do a whole episode talking about the pros and cons of doing this.
That's
But,
true.
but I thought my experience was very, very positive. I met some really nice people, bonded with people I had already known, and just had a great time. Met a lot of nice people along the way at different teams and at transition areas, and I would highly recommend it.
Yeah.
It was just a challenge. It was a really neat challenge to have to
Right.
plan it and do it.
I do too. I recommend that if you can win a prize package,
That sounds like if you can do it,
That-
that'd be the best way to do
which
it.
one?
Yeah, but,
that would be the way to go.
yeah, all expense paid trip. That'd probably be.
Yeah, that would be,
Fun
if I
experience.
were to do it again, that's the way I would do it,
Yeah.
is just win another prize package.
Right.
That includes it.
So if you see something that you think is spam, you might want to just look into it a little bit further.
Yeah, that's the
Instead of just
takeaway
deleting.
from the email. Always read your spam emails.
Right, exactly.
I kid, don't do that. All right, well, cool. That's episode 26 wrapped up.
Boom.
Boom.